Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, enjoying JCL programming sessions. So I welcome you to the new session of JCL programming. Till now we have learned very good concept of JCL. So let's start with the today's JCL session. Okay, so this is the agenda for today's JCL session. First, we will do the recap of what we have learned in the last session, whatever the concept or the key highlight that we will cover in that recap session. And after that, we will deep dive into how to code the COND parameter on the EXEC statement. So in the last session, we have learned about the COND parameter. In this session, we will learn how you can use the COND parameter on the EXEC statement so that you can manipulate the execution of any job state based on the condition code. And after that, we will check how you can code if, else, and if statement in your JCL. So you also have the condition parameter, which is COND parameter. And after that, you can use the if, else statement as well to manipulate the execution of any job state based on some written code or some condition. And after that, we will use the practical of all the condition statement that we have learned. So let's start. Okay, so this is regarding the last session recap. So in the last session, we have learned about the written code and system completion code in the JCL programming. And in written code, we have learned if any job execution is done. And after that, on the screen, we will get the written code of that particular job. If everything is work fine, then we will get the written code as 0. If we are having some warning messages, then we have the written code as 4. And after that, we also learn about what is written code 8, written code 12. So if your job is having some written code, for example, if it is 0, then program ran to successful completion. If your job is having written code 4, program encountered a minor error but was able to recover from it. So most of the cases, you also get the error message as written code as 4, but your job is executed, everything worked fine because the program encountered some a minor error and it was able to recover from that. And after that, we have written code 8. The program encountered a problem that uh, did something and our execution is not completed. And after that, we have 12, and after that, we have 16. So those are the severe error that we need to check. So whenever you get any written code from your job, 0 and 4 is acceptable. When you get 8, 12, 16, then you need to check what is wrong with your job stay, what is wrong with your job, so that you can correct and you will complete your execution. So that is regarding the written code. So in this today's session, we will do some practical regarding that. And after that, we have a system completion code. So if you're working on any job and your job terminated abnormally, so in that case, you get some abend messages as well. So how the abend messages is generated? So here the completion code start with S, then you have a 3 digit of hexadecimal value. And after that, you also get the reason code as well. So that based on that S and those 3 hexadecimal value and the reason code, you can check, okay, what is the actual issue that your program is having or your JCL is having. And on that basis, you can find the root cause and you can find the solution for that. So in the last session, I have shared one chart with everyone that gives some example about what is SOC 4, what is SOC 7, and all those kind of information. So I'll suggest everyone to read that and to keep in mind each and every condition code whenever you're working on your JCL. Mostly you will get SOC 7, SOC 4, those kind of error, because most of the time it is happening because of some data error or array or a subscript index error. So that we have learned. So in today's session, we will also check that as well. And after that, we learned about the restart statement. So whenever your job is terminated, so the question arises from where or from which step you should restart your job. So there is command which is restart command. And if your job is executed successfully, then it is okay. If job is not executed successfully, then you need to determine from where you need to restart it. So for example, your job terminated at step 10. So you can restart your job from step 10, but you need to check, is there any dependency or is there any condition code assigned to that step 10? If yes, then you need to determine from where you want to restart the job, because in some cases there is a dependency of other steps on that step as well. There is condition code used in that JCL. Also, some of the temporary files are used in that step as well. So you need to determine in that case from where you need to restart the job. So it is very important factor. You need to check the dependency of restart statement. And after that, we check the condition parameter in JCL. What are the condition parameter we have? So we check what is less than, greater than, and how you can use that in your execution of the program. So yes, that is what we have learned in the last session, and today's session we will do some practical so that you will get the better idea about that. Okay. So in today's session, we will learn how to code the COND parameter on exec statement. So in the last session, we have learned how to code the COND parameter on job statement. So in this session, we will check how you can use on the exact statement. The COND parameter of the exact statement is more flexible than the COND parameter of job statement. You can use the COND parameter on exact statement to test a written code from previous job steps to determine whether to bypass the current job step. It lets you specify a written code and relational operator to determine whether to skip a particular job step instead of all subsequent steps. So yes, when you're working on JCL, you will get to know that the execution of COND parameter and exact, it is more flexible than execution of COND parameter on the job statement. So based on the COND parameter that you will write on the exact statement, you can specify based on some condition, you can manipulate the execution of that job step. In addition, you can specify a step name to test the written code for a specific or a particular job step. So yes, when you're working on exact statement and you want to add that count parameter on exact statement, there is a facility that you can also include this step name, so that only for that step name, your condition will be checked, and based on that condition, your current step will be executed. So in today's session, I will give one example in the practical so that you will get the idea how the step name is involved in the count parameter of exact statement. It also provide two additional sub parameter, even and only. Okay, so in the last session, we have learned the condition parameter, and it is mostly having less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to all kind of operator that we use in our mathematical problems. But when you're working on exact statement, we have additional two subparameter. First, it's even, and next, it's only. That let you specify how an event affect the job execution. You can combine up to 8 condition on a single condition parameter. Then if any one of the condition is true, the job step is bypassed. So there is a limit. You can combine up to 8 conditions. So you can make the combination of conditional statement on count parameter, and the limit is up to 8. So mostly what I have learned or what I have worked on JCL, mostly up to 4 or 3 it is I have seen. I have not seen the job steps till 8, but it is a limit. So we can combine the conditional statement up to 8 conditions. If the condition of count parameter on job statement is satisfied, then job terminate regardless of any count parameter coded on the exact statement. It is very important thing here. So you are putting some condition parameter on job statement, and you are also providing some condition parameter on exact statement. If the condition parameter of job statement is satisfied, then whether you are writing any condition on the exact statement, it will not check. Why? Because the job statement takes the first priority, and after that you get the priority, which is the exact statement. So that's why whenever we have a condition on job statement, you should be careful about that condition statement, because that condition satisfied, then the job terminate regardless of any condition statement that you have coded on the exact statement. So yes, job statement takes the first priority on the count parameter. Then we have the exact statement. So just keep in that mind. It is very important thing. Okay. So this is the syntax or example of condition parameter on exact statement. So in the last session, we have learned about the condition parameter, and we have learned other operator, less than, greater than, all that operator. So in this session, we are checking what is even, what is only. So syntax is same. You are providing some value, you are providing some operator. For example, value is 8, operator is less than, and here you can also include the step name. For example, step 2, then your this particular step will check the condition 8 less than step name. If it is satisfied, then your execution will be stopped. And if the condition is not satisfied, then your job will execute and it will go to the next execution. So what is even and what is only? So even tells the system to execute the job step even if a previous job step abandoned. So that is why it's even. So even is the compulsion. So it tells the system to execute the job step even a previous step is abandoned. So sometimes we face a situation that if previous step is abandoned, we still want to execute any particular step. So there you can write this even statement, because it is just telling the system that job step, execute the job step even a previous job step is abandoned. So it is not having any dependency. It is, if the earlier step is abandoned, still execute our step, and if it is not abandoned, then it is not an issue. And after that, we have the only statement or the only keyword. Only tells the system to execute the job step only if a previous job step is abandoned. It is very important. Only means that please execute, or we are telling the system, please execute our job step only if our previous job step is abandoned. So it is very important thing to how you are differentiating even and only. Even means just execute my particular statement or particular step even if my previous job step is abandoned. Only means just execute, only execute my job step only if the previous step is abandoned. If your previous step is not abandoned, then our system will not execute that particular step. So this is the difference between even and only. Keep it in mind. Okay, so there are some example that we have here, which is regarding the condition statement on the exact statement. The first example tells the job step is bypassed if any previous step has a written code of 8 or greater than. So yes, here how it is checking. So we are having one step and it is executing some program, and we are having some condition statement. So here it is checking whatever the written code you get, 7 less than whatever the written code. So if you get 7 less than 0, then your execution is or that condition is not true. That means your system will execute the next statement or the next job step if you are getting the written code of 8 or greater than 8 from the previous step. So condition checks 7 less than 8, 7 less than 12. So in that case, your condition is satisfied, and that's why your execution will stop there and all other steps are bypassed. So that is what the first example is. The next example is a very good example. Here you are executing the job step or you are bypassing the job step based on the any particular step name. So here you are writing to execute this program, and you are providing the condition 8 equals to sort 1. So sort 1 is the previous or any step available in the job, and if that particular job step, which is sort 1, is having status code 8, then and then this condition is satisfied. And if the condition is satisfied, then this execution will not be happening. So if on the sort step, if you get the value or the written code as 4, then 8 equals to 4, which is not true, and that's why this step will executed. So this is the second example here. So we are providing the step name, you are providing the condition. And the next one are the same, just we are just using the combination. So here we are using the combination of the first one, which is the condition 1, and we are also checking the condition 2. So we also have the limit, you can check the condition up to 8 combination. The next one is job executed even if the previous step abandoned. So yes, this is the new term that we have learned in this session, even and only. So even means execute even if a previous job step is abandoned. So whatever the job step you have before this job step, it will check if that particular job step is abandoned or not. If it is abandoned, then we can still execute this job step. And after that, we have only statement. Only is very simple. If your previous job step is abandoned, only then, okay, only then execute this job statement. So that is the significance of only and even. Okay, I hope the execution or that how you can use even and only is clear now. Okay, so we check the condition parameter, then we also have the if construct or the if else and if statement in our JCL as well. So at one time the COND parameter was the only option for handling the conditional processing in JCL, but it is very confusing. Yes, I can agree, it is very confusing for most of the user to how you can use that condition parameter. But when you try to understand that conditional statement, it is very easy, but still some of the people are try find it very confusing to use. So later version of the operating system added 3 JCL statement that work together for the purpose if then, and we also have the else, and the last one is end if. So if you are working on any programming language, so you have learned the if else and end if statement. So the same concept, the same logic is used in there. So like the count parameter, the if then else and if statement construct or just if construct statement that we are checking in this session allow you to conditionally execute the job step based on result of the conditions you set. So yes, whenever you're working on any programming language, you have learned the if else and statement. So based on that, same concept is used in there. And you just put, okay, if this is the my first condition, if this condition is satisfied, in then option you put whatever the next execution you need to plan, and in else you just write if the if condition is failed, then what needs to be done, and end if is just closing the loop of if and else statement. To begin conditional execution, you code an if statement that include the condition you want to test. After the condition, you code the then clause followed by the whatever JCL statement you want to execute. If the condition is true, there must be at least one condition. Then if necessary, you code an else statement followed by whether JCL statement you want to execute if the condition is false. So it is very easy. If then you whatever the condition is satisfied, then you execute. If condition is not satisfied, whatever you have written in the else will execute. Finally, you code end if statement to end the conditional structure. You specify the condition you want to test. You specify the condition you want to test in an if statement by coding a relational expression that can contain the keywords and operator. If you look through the explanation that we will be discussing in the next slide of the element, you will see that you can code expression to check for a specific written code or append code, or to determine whether a job step or a job or procedure step is completed normally. Okay, so this is the syntax of if else and if statement. It is very simple that you have learned in any coding or any programming languages. So here we are having if whatever the condition you want to put here, which is a relational expression or the condition, and you then you put then statement executed if condition is true, and then you have the keyword as else, and After that, you provide the statement or the execution that needs to be executed if your condition is if condition is not satisfied, and in end if is just closing loop of if and else. And these are the some relational expression or the keyword or the operator that we have learned in previous session as well. So not means logically not, GT means greater than, LT means less than, NG means not greater than, NL means not less than, EQ means equals to, NE means not equals to, GE means greater than equal to, LE means less than equals to, and parameter is same as and, or parameter is same as or. So I hope the concept of and or parameter is clear to everyone. If you are having and parameter in between two conditions, then both conditions should satisfied. If you are having or condition between two condition, then any one condition is satisfying, it will be okay. Okay, so these are the example of if, then, or end if conditions. So if, so this is the first example. If written code is greater than 0, then. So any previous job step has issued a written code greater than 0, then whatever the statement you will provide will execute. The next example is if written code of step 1 equals to 6, then. So here you are providing the step name. So only that step name written code will be checked in this condition. If it is 6, then whatever you have written in the then statement will get executed. And if statement of, so here you are using the and parameter, that if the step 1 written code is 6 and step 2 written code is less than 16, then only execute whatever we have written in the then statement. And the fourth example is if step abend then execute. So step 1 ended up normally, then whatever we have written in the then statement will get executed. The next one is just opposite of that. If your step 1 end normally, then it will execute whatever you have written in the then parameter. And also we have the condition that system abend count. So if the step 1 is appended with sock 4, then execute whatever you have written in the then statement. So here we have the pretty good example. So here you have written, if a written code is greater than equals to 8, then. So whatever you have written in the then will get executed if this condition gets satisfied. And whatever you have written in the else statement will get executed if the condition whatever you have written in the if is not satisfied. And end if is just simple, just closing the loop of if else. So just read this example so that you will get the idea. If written code is greater than or equal to 8, then execute whatever you have written in the then. And if the condition is not true, then else para will get executed. Okay, so let's do some practical examples. So in this session, we will check the written code, system completion code, practical, and after that, we will check some conditional practical statement code. Okay. Okay, so let me check my programs in JCL so that we can work on that and check the condition statement, how it looks. Okay, so this is just my simple program, which is having some display statement. Welcome to JCL training. So we will try to execute this program. So I have the COBOL compiler JCL written here. So here I have written this step name or the job name, and I have provided the class message class that we have learned in the last session. And here I will write my program name that I need to execute it. Okay, so this is my COBOL step, and this is my program that I need to execute. This is my link edit step, and I'll create my load model. Okay, so load one and PGM will, it is okay. So I am compiling my program, which is written in this file, and I'm doing my compilation, link edit, and I'm creating my load module. So my load module will be here in this library, and I'm creating at the runtime, which is new file. It will get catalog if execution is happening correctly. And this is my space parameter, and it is my DCB parameter for this file. Okay, so everything is good. Let me submit this job. So you need to write the command submit or sub. It will take that, and when you submit, then you will get this notification on your screen. This is my job name, COB com is my job name, and job 00425 is my job ID. So just keep in mind whatever we have on the screen. First one is the job name and the next one is the job ID. Okay. So if your execution is happening successfully, there is no error, everything works fine, there is no error message, then you will get the MAXCC. That means maximum condition code or maximum written code as 0. That means your execution is happening correctly, everything works fine. You are okay to proceed for further operation. So this is the first condition code, which is MAXCC 0. That means execution happens successfully. Okay. Let me check my another example. Okay, so before that, I'll show you one thing that is very important, which is pool area is starts TSO SD SF, and you go to the ST, then you type your owner name. Okay, so this is the last. So here you get on this pool, you will get all the information. So this is the job name, this is the job ID, who is the owner, and what is the status of that particular job. So this is the last job that we have executed. You just put the question mark, and here you will get all the information. This is messages that we have discussed in the previous session. So just put the S and hit enter. So here, so in my JCL, there were two steps. So here you can see there are two. So here you can see there are two steps, and all two steps are having written code as 0. That means my execution is completed. So you just go to each and every message that you will get on this JES messages. This is just simply my JCL, and here you get the messages. If anything goes wrong, you just need to check each and every line. And this is my first job statement, or that first step, which is my COBOL step. And here you get example, whatever the condition or written code you have. Okay, so next we will try to generate some error message so that we can check what is wrong with our program. So just copy this. Okay, first we will go and execute. Then after that, we can check for the whatever the issue we have received. So this is my JCL. Okay. So you just copy your program name here, whatever your program name, and here I'll just change my load module because the file is already there. Okay, so here I have provided one program name. The same process will happen for this, which is the compilation of programs. So let's check what happen if you submit your job. Okay, so I have submitted my job. You just need to wait. Okay, here you can see my job is ended with MAXCC code 8. That means something is not correct in my program. That's why my written code is 8. Earlier, when we submit our job, we get the written code as 4. That means execution is a written code as 0. That means execution is successful. In this situation, we have received the condition code as 8. So we need to check what is wrong with our job. So how you will start? You just go to this pool. Yes, so this is my last job that I have executed. Just I'll check whatever the issue. Okay, so in my COBOL step, I have written a code as 8. So I need to check my COBOL step. This is my COBOL step. I will go into that step and I'll just go to the last. And here I have seen the log. So I have one error message generated. That's why my written code is 8. So I'll check what is my error. Okay, so I have my error here. So this is my error. So what it is telling, subscript or index literal 20 exceeded the maximum occurrence value 10 of the table. The maximum occurrence was assumed. Okay, so it is checking this statement and it is saying that literal or the index value 20 is exceeding the maximum occurrence limit that we have provided in this table as 10. So let's go to the program. What is the issue? Okay, so here in this program, I have created one table and the table, the index of that particular table is 10. But in my program, I'm moving some value with the subscript or the index which is having value as 20, which is not correct because I'm having only 10 occurrence and how I can move the value to 20 occurrence. So that is one of the situation when you get the condition code 8, just need to check what is happening in this pool. And after that, you will get to know, okay, this is the issue, and you come back to your program, do the code changes, and that you will be okay to execution. Okay, so this is regarding the condition code 8. Okay, so let me check how I can generate my condition code 12. Okay, so we can do one thing. Okay, so this is my display statement. I'll write it here. Replace the program name, change the whatever the load you want to give. Okay, so I'll just save it and submit it. It is not compulsory to save it. Just for me, I'm saving it and I'm just typing the submit command. Sub will also work, not an issue. Okay, so I have submitted my job. Let's see what is the written code I'll get. Okay, so I'm getting the written code as 8 only. I'll just check this pool so that in our situation we will check what is the issue. Like we have received the written code as 8, but you just need to know, okay, so what is the issue actually? So same, you go to this pool, you check what is happening, you check in the first, okay, my COBOL is having written code as 8. That means here I'm having issue. When you go to the below, then you will check display should not begin in area A. So yes, I have made changes that it should not begin, the display statement should not begin with area A, it should be starting with area B. So that's why we are having this issue. Hey, let me check. the conditional statement that I have written. Okay. So we have learned about the COND parameter. So in this step, I have written one conditional statement on the exact statement. So here I have one step which is PGM equals to HEWL. So this is my link edit step, which is LKD. And in that step, I am executing one program, which is HEWL, which is the utility, which is the link edit utility. And I have provided one condition here. So what is that condition? Condition equals to 8 less than COBOL. So what is this COBOL? COBOL is nothing but this step. Okay, so COBOL is nothing but this step that is regarding the compilation of whatever the program you have written here. So how it is checking if whatever the in this COBOL, whatever the written code you get from this step will have this value. So for example, the execution of this is correct and the condition code of this step is 4 or we can say 0. Then it will check the condition 8 less than 0, which is not true. That means the execution will take place and it will continue to execute. So what it is checking? It is checking the written code from the step name as COBOL. If we get the step name as 0 or the step code as 0, then it will check 8 less than 0, which is not true. That means your execution will carry forward. If you get, for example, you receive some error in your COBOL statement and it is very severe error and you get the written code as 12. If you are getting any written code as 12, so that 12 will be written here and for this step condition will be checked. So here we are having 12. So condition is checking 8 less than 12. What it is checking? 8 less than 12. That means condition is true. 8 is less than 12. It is a correct statement. So if condition is satisfied, then this execution will not be happening and your step will be flush. That means your execution will not happen and your job is ended here. Why? Because you are having some condition statement here in this step. So if it is having 0, 4, then it is having no issue. The condition is not satisfied, execution will be done. If you are having condition code from this COBOL step as 12, 16, whatever greater than 8, then this execution will not happen and your job will end abnormally. I think I have one example here. Let me go to my spool. I think this is my example. Yep. So this is my example. So this is the same JCL that I have explained. And what I did, I was getting some issue in my COBOL program. So because of that, the written code was 12 because the error was very severe. So here I'm getting my COBOL step written code as 12. That's why my link edit condition is not happening or not executing. That's why you are having a comment it as a flush. What is flush? So if condition is not set, if condition is not satisfied or condition is satisfied, your execution is not happening. So what our condition was? 8 less than 12. So yes, 8 is less than 12. That means condition is satisfied. Your execution will not happen. That's why the next step, which is LKED, which is link edit, it is not happening. Why? Because our condition is satisfied. What our condition was? 8 is less than COBOL. That means in the COBOL you have 12. So 8 is less than 12. Condition is true. That's why execution is not happening. So this is regarding how you can check your condition code, written code, and how you can write the count parameter in your program or your JCL programming. So yes, we have covered a lot of topics today. We have covered how you can write the condition statement on your exact statement. And after that, we have learned about the if-else statement. We have learned the syntax, and we have learned the example, and also we did some practical. We did practical for how you can check the written code and how you can check the error if you are having written code 8, 12, 16, and how you can use the condition parameter. That's it for today. I hope you will like this session. Thank you so much.